nagtataka lang po kami. Bakit paraging disaster ang sinasabi? Di naman sila sumisipot. Pero pagbasahin ng Edca at yung Pakay nitong additional sites, talagang humanitarian relief. Hindi naman nila ginagawa yun eh.
Ma'am, the primary consideration of the Edca site, as we have said, is to cater the Philippine-US bilateral exercises.
Sir, maliwanag po yung Article 1, dapat may humanitarian sana.
Yes, yes.
Wala naman tayo na kita, wala naman na kaming ramdaman na tulong mula sa kanila. Kaya nagtataka lang po kami.
That's why we are now possibly looking at the possibility to open up because we have
Nagtataka rin po kami dahil kasi yung pagpili nitong mga sites lahat nasa Northern Luzon. So, inaamin po ba natin na yung Taiwan ang siyang pakay at tinutukoy nito at hindi yung deterrence sa West Philippine Sea at yung pagtatanggol ng lupain na Pilipino?
Ma'am, I cannot categorically answer the question.
Pero yung pagpili o yung paghiwatig ng mga intended sites, maliwanag na first line of defense kung magkaroon ng atake sa Taiwan, di po ba? Maliwanag na hindi naman siya western sector.
As we have said earlier, the Edca sites that we had, including the 5 Edca sites, it will be used primarily for our bilateral use.
General Centino, you repeatedly make mention of the word contingencies. By contingencies, are you referring to Taiwan?
Not necessarily, ma'am.
Given that the Balikatan suddenly has shifted to Northern Luzon, given that we are hearing of 4 sites all in Northern Luzon, hence it is all in Taiwan, and that is the new evolving contingency. Is that correct?
It doesn't have to be Taiwan. We have to consider threats. That's assumptions that we're making. As I can only speak of the armed forces, ma'am.
Gentlemen, what's our fight with Taiwan? What is our fight with Taiwan? I don't understand.
No, ma'am. I'm
So
not
why are we
saying-
doing all the military exercises in Northern Luzon a stone's throw or at least a boat ride away from Taiwan? Then clearly, the new expanded Edca is addressing the escalation of tensions in the Taiwan Straits, not Philippine interests in the West Philippine Sea. We are therefore going to fight for another country, the United States. Is that correct, sir?
That's why dapat nag-uusap kayo ng DFA para isa lang. Kaya maguguluhan si Chairman Imee Marcos, yung sagot nyo.
Palagay ko naguguluhan rin sila.
Hindi natin alam, pero that is already part of the US studies, no? If you point that out, I don't know if they asked. I wonder if they asked us that about using North Luzon as the base from which they will fly their planes. Apart from that, siguro maaari nating masabing we welcome all kinds of assistance for calamities and so on. But in the last several calamities, we could consider that China has been giving more than 10 times more than the US. Of course, we have a dispute with China. Actually, in the case of Marawi, the US blocked the shipments of arms and munitions to the Philippines when the Marawi, I'm sure many of you were involved. And then it was China and Russia that gave the means which allowed us to settle the Marawi siege within 8 months. No, so yan lang ho to bring up na.
Very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
C. Yes, we're aware of material like this deriving from the United States and other allies. And the question has arisen time and again, if an armed conflict breaks out between the U.S. and another country, can the Edca sites in Northern Luzon or elsewhere in the Philippines be used as staging areas where the U.S. can launch attacks or counterattacks? Because it's very clear under Article 1, as quoted by Senator Pimentel, that there is a catch-all phrase that will allow all sorts of activities related to those above, provided there's some kind of an agreement. Sa kasagsagan ng digmaan, wala na sigurong panahon na idadaan pa yan sa Kongreso, magkakaroon pa ng konsultasyon. Palagay ko, biglaan, madadali tayo niyan. There's also explicit provision for refueling and reloading of aircraft with missile and munitions. Is that correct? So refueling lang yan, no other provisions, ano? Tama po ba ang pagkaintindi namin? There's an express allowance in the Edca for the refueling of aircraft. Are we to assume that they can also gather supplies, more munitions, more missiles even at the same time?
refueling depots, ma'am, already completed.
Oo, pero kung magkarga sila ng mortar, halimbawa, kasama po ba yun sa pagkain, sa gamit, at iba pa? Yusek Galvez and thereafter Dr. Loha.
As I have said earlier, yung access nila talagang ano yan, merong mutual yan, consent yan. Every activities may mutual consent. And even siguro I've been working with the US for so long a time dito sa Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. Actually, nung dati, nandun sila sa Sulu, malaking basis nila doon for rotational. 6 months. Pero nung nawala na yun, nawala na yung tinatawag natin threat doon, tsaka yung Busiyap, nawala na rin sa Basilan, nawala na rin yung sa dito sa sa area ng Sulu and even Tawi-Tawi. And yung Jesotop noon, napakalaki yan. It's sometimes maabot ng thousands yan. But right now, they are only maintaining 500. Pero sa totoo lang, Sir Renato, ang daming sundalo ko na nabuhay because of their and even 10 of their people were ambushed in Sulu. Marami akong during joint operations namin, 39 people ang na-save nila kasi sila lang kasi may night flying capability at saka yung first time ko nakita na sinaksakan na sa dibdib, nabuhay yung fatally wounded ko na tao. And ganun yung ating mission sa Edca na we want to prepare our people na magkaroon ng talagang tinatawag natin. Kung titingnan nyo naman yung MDT maybe Sir Coco, nakita natin doon, based doon sa MDT because we just came from war noong 1951, basically ang doon is peaceful resolution of conflict. Ang laging nakalagay doon, collective defense. Meaning our main imperative there, considering that we renounce war, ang ating ginagawa lang is for the purposes na we are ready to deter
Sige.
and respond. So yun lang ang natin doon.
Yes, Yusek, gusto ko lang tumbukin yung sinabi ni Mr. Reyes dahil sang-ayon po ako at maliwanag sa ilalim ng EDCA, all preposition material will be owned exclusively by the US. Maliwanag rin na halos sa buntot lamang yung disaster preparedness, wala naman na totoong ganon. Doon sa experience natin sa modernization, ang natitira sa atin yung EDA lamang, yung mga tira-tirang truck at kung ano-anong bulok na. So, ang tanong, kung ihahambing natin itong EDCA natin sa mga narinig na natin, na bilyon-bilyon binibigay sa Israel, bilyon-bilyon binibigay sa Taiwan at South Korea, anong kapalit ng ating peligro na dito sa EDCA sites, dati man o karagdagan? May kapalit ba to? What are we getting in return? Only the permanent structures that they can take with them? What are these structures? Can't the Philippines just build them on their own? We have these military bases anyway.
Can we have J5 to answer considering that?
J5, please.
Yes, ma'am. I think I need also to process most of the information that are being discussed this afternoon. Well, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there have been a lot of benefits already in our relationship with the US, and the FMF funding that we are receiving every year is helping us.
But you know, of
in our
course, that the
capability
FMS
development.
funding is a
Yes,
drop in the bucket compared to the others that have been
Yes, ma'am.
used as locations by the US.
Yes, ma'am. Probably we're not similarly situated. There are actually some interest that they have in those countries. They also have some interest in our country. And I'm sorry, but I cannot fathom the intent of what they have with Israel or Philippines. So probably.
Palit ang peligro di ba?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Di ba sa Israel? Bilyon-bilyon.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So
Pag dumating yung pambubuli ng China, tayo galit na galit sa China, wala tayong ibang iniisip kung kanino tayo hingi ng tulong. And the closest ally that we can think of is Amerika. Di ba? Dapat silang tutulong sa atin. Ngayon, ito namang Amerika, marami mga previous incidents na pinapahirapan rin tayo, ginigipitin tayo. Like for example, yung na-cite kanina ng ating isang resource speaker during Marawi Siege, yung procurement namin sa PNP ng rifles, hinarang ng Amerika. Hindi sila tumulong. Nagamit sana namin yun sa Marawi Siege. Ngayon, kaya mag-ingat tayo paano tayo magamit at magpagamit sa kanila. At the same time, kung magpagamit tayo, dapat magamit rin natin sila. Hindi dapat one way. Hindi ito dapat one way na maalala lang namin yung Pilipinas. Kayo ngayong may problema sa Taiwan, pwede palang gamitin na launching pad itong Northern Luzon para sa counter-attack natin doon sa Taiwan. Kung na-invade ang Taiwan by China, pwede magamit ng Pilipinas. Itong mga Amerikano rin dapat, ipaparating rin nyo, sir, kayo naman nag-uusap palagi. Kayo man nag-uusap, parating rin ninyo na kaya yung mga tao minsan nagiging negative sa inyo dahil lumalabas na parang user kayo. User kayo, magagamit lang kayo pag kailangan nyo kami. Pero panahon ng kinakailangan kayo, hindi man kayo tumutulong. Pero the fact remains, kahit na meron tayong ganong hinanakit sa kanila, the fact remains na sila pa rin ang kinakailangan talaga natin kapag tayo binubuli ng China. Wala tayong ibang mapuntahan kundi Amerika. Yun lang. Okay bang bawi ko, sir? Okay ba? Bumawi ako konti? Okay lang? Ha? gusto mo na mag-report sa Amerika eh. So, si Bato galit sa inyo. Parang gano'n ay. Pero wala tayong ibang pupuntahan kundi Amerika, di ba? Galit na galit sa pambubuli ng China. Kanino tayo hingi ng tulong? Amerika. Di ba? Pero yun nga lang, sabihin nyo yung Amerikana kayo, halata masyado user kayo. Maisip lang nyo kami kapag may looming threat dyan sa Taiwan na dagdagan nyo, halata masyadong move ninyo na gusto nyo, Northern Luzon, lagyan ng additional Edca sites. Yun lang, mas maganda yung, kaya siguro negative yung ibang tao doon sa Northern Luzon sa kanila dahil kulang sila sa information na operation, naunahan sila ng China. Baka China nandun na, advance na doon, nangangampanya na yung China doon sa Northern Luzon na hindi nagbibiro lang ako, gobyerno wala yan. Wala yan, Gob. Ang akin lang, ba't ang Amerika, klaruhin nila yung purpose na dito, na hindi kami gagamit sa inyo. Hindi kayong gagamit sa inyo. Wala kaming kung na gamitin kayo na pagkatapos gamitin kayo, iiwan namin kayo. O dapat walang ganunan. Yun lang, Gob, hindi ko kuha yun, Gob, na pinapasaya ko lang yung